All right, everybody. Welcome to the first little short video that I will be calling Eephus Minis. The whole idea behind this is to somewhat continue what Bobby and TJ were doing with the podcast itself, just making short form videos, talking about the hobby a little bit, the general shit that they were doing. But in this first episode, I just wanted to give a little bit more of a background on myself and who I am and basically how I came to be in this position. So, whenever I was younger, like 10, 11, something like that, I had a small collection of baseball cards. It was nothing crazy. It was just, all base. I paid attention to baseball a little bit. My mom was the one that was big into it, and then after, I want to say it was like 2006, I just kind of got out of following baseball. Just started following other things, started playing more video games, got into skating, and then I didn't happen to get back into baseball until 2017, luckily enough. By this point, I don't know hardly any of the guys that are playing, couldn't remember a lot of names. And then something about 17 hooked me and this was before the World Series and everything. It just seemed that it caught my eye. Over the next few years, I got more into the sport. I started getting more into stats, keeping up with, okay, so this team is doing this good. There's this one really good player who's doing this. This pitcher has like a good curveball, slider, fastball, shit like that. At some point, I had found like the old cards that I had and just keep them in a box, look at them every now and then whenever I came across it. 2020 rolls around, which I know is whenever most people got back into collecting, and I somewhat did, but it was more so I had found a guy that I would buy Astros autograph cards from. Nothing too crazy, just like current players that I really liked, spending $15-20 at a time. And then at some point through Reddit, I come across the baseball cards, and I posted a couple of pictures there, and then I start seeing, oh, this guy, he bought this box, he pulled this card. I'm like, okay, this seems very interesting. So late 2022, I bought a couple of blasters. Sat home, like at this table, opened these packs, and it was more fun than I had had in a long time. It made me feel like a kid again. And then from that moment on, I fell in love. Cut to, couple months later, something like that, not too far past that. Going through Reddit, I see this guy posting, hey, we have a podcast talking about baseball cards. Come and check it out. And we also have a Discord. So I listened to a couple of episodes. I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. At least, to my eyes. They knew way more than I did. They knew sets, they talking about parallels, and I'm like, what the hell is a parallel? Like, what is going on here? Joined the Discord, and as that started to grow, I'm learning more and more. I'm learning, okay, so this set is really fun to open. If you have the money, this set is worth buying. This is what this parallel is. Hey, you can go here and look at a checklist and stuff like that. Like, guys trying to trade cards or sell cards, but most importantly, just talking about baseball as a whole. And the more that I started learning, the more that I fell in love with it. To the point to where I was able to start answering questions that people had about cards. And doing this, daily, I start to become friends with more and more people. Friends with Bobby, Philly, TJ, anybody who was actively participating in the Discord. Listen to the podcast, way more. Like as soon as it would drop, I would be putting it on. And then there would be discussions, about, the episode. Okay, so they talked about this. Here's my thought on what you said at this point. And like I said, as this goes on, I start to become better and better friends with everybody. And in the most recent episode, the Big Goodbye, Bobby goes into detail about how just him bettering himself and just getting away from whatever he needs to. He, at this point, and this was a few weeks ago, he had asked if I would be the one to basically take ownership of the Discord. And I immediately jumped on the opportunity to say yes. I was honestly, I was honored to be asked to do that. It's just, this is just the past couple of years of just bullshitting with everybody about cards and all of this. It's been so fun for me, and it's something that I didn't want to let go. I wanted to, my immediate thought was, what can I do to improve the quality of this hobby that we all enjoy very much? And then I started thinking about what I would want to do, and I just didn't want to be in there talking to everybody daily, like, oh wow, look at what happened with this guy, like look at this highlight. And the one of the first things that came to my mind was just doing some sort of short form videos like I'm doing right now, just to somewhat keep it alive and keep the spirit there, but not actually take away from the podcast dynamic that Bobby and TJ had, and then the tool time that Philly and TJ had, and kind of just do my own thing on it. And so future plans, I'll look at upcoming releases, talk about that, talk shit about the gimmicks that Tops and Fanatics are doing to grow the hobby exponentially, as they said that they wanted to do. I don't have an actual game plan, but that's kind of the just the idea. But I didn't want to just do this video just explaining all of this. So one thing that I did prepare is just showing off and giving stories about 3 of my favorite cards that I own. And I'm going to start with this right here. It's a PSA 10 Corey Lee color match rookie auto. The reason that this one means so much to me is I got it through a trade with somebody in the Discord. I really wish I could remember who it was. I'm sorry. I know that you will let me know later. Whenever I got back into baseball, I did not follow prospects at all. I knew the bigger names of, everybody's really hyped that this guy's going to come up. I couldn't name me the top prospect from every team. I couldn't, if you were to tell me a name, I'd be like, who the hell is that? Whenever I did start getting into prospects, and I was looking at what the Astros farm system had, then comes Corey Lee. At the time, we had been dealing with Martin Maldonado, who, excellent pitch framing. He could call a game, but his hitting just was not there, as I'm sure we all know. So then it comes into, okay, spring training a couple years ago, and then it's going to be either Yainer Diaz or Corey Lee to take the spot. I was very big on Corey Lee because I liked his defense, I liked his framing, I liked his pop time. I was looking at the defense more than I was the offense. So I went very hard on buying Corey Lee cards, to the point to where I have 70 to 80 different ones. I mean, parallels included, different autographs, Bowman cards, stuff like that. Oh, excuse me. So I kept buying these cards. I would see something I didn't have, and it's like, they were cheap too. So let me buy it, let me build up my collection, let me hope that this guy pans out. Then he gets traded to the White Sox, gets more playing time there, doesn't really pan out. But the reason that I do love this card so much is, like I said, I made a trade for it, sent it off to get graded, and it came back a 10. And I mean, this is how it goes with prospecting. They're not always going to turn out. Corey Lee was a first-round pick from the Astros, and now he's playing in AAA. But I'm not ever going to look at this card and think, why did I do that? There's no need to, because it was something that I took a gamble on. Yeah, it didn't pay off, but I had a lot of fun collecting these cards. The second card, and this is one that I'm taking full credit for, at least starting the movement, is PSA 10 Ken Waldichuk rookie auto. In 2023, it was kind of a joke. People would buy hobby boxes or blasters and like, hey, guess what auto I pulled? Ken Waldichuk. So one night I thought it would be really funny to just let me get a perfect one just to get a reaction out of people. As soon as I did that, I was immediately getting messages of, hey, it would also be funny if you buy this one. It would be funny if you buy this card, this one, all just Waldichuk. And that turned into Bobby buying some. Just, hey, this is also a fun thing that I want to get in on. To the point to where he actually bought a Platinum Anniversary Superfractor just to piss me off and rub it in my face that I wasn't able to buy it. So this is another one of those guys, not very good, but every time I look at this card, it's another just fun story. And I'm still gonna keep buying this card just because I can. So this last card, this is a little bit of a longer story. Like I said, as I got to become better friends with everybody in the Discord, it somehow happened one night. I just started threatening Yadier Molina cards to TJ, the Yachty guy. For whatever reason, I thought it was the absolute funniest thing, and then I just ran with it. I would start coming up with weird scenarios I could put this card in just to make this one man uncomfortable, only for my own amusement. I would throw cards like frisbees, I would carry them around in my pocket, use them as coasters. because why the hell not? It was fun. This card right here is the first one that I started doing all of this with. And as TJ was doing, different PSA submissions, stuff like that, the last one that he did, how funny would it be if I submit this one? So the man that I had been torturing for months on end received the card that I had been torturing him with and sent it off to get graded, and it came back a PSA 1. Out of every other card that I own, this one is in a way my absolute favorite, just because of the insanity that I was able to provide. Just the lawlessness, the anarchy, and which eventually turned into him attempting to threaten Astros cards, but he's not as creative as I am, so it's beautiful. I'm sorry, my dog is over there messing with the cat. This is just kind of what I wanted to do for this first episode. The next ones are going to be way more composed, and I'll have a much better plan of what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get something out there just to start this whole thing. I wanted to wing it. I wanted to see what would happen, but there will definitely be more. I am planning on, like I said, looking at upcoming releases. I'm planning on looking at the stupid gimmicks that Topps is trying to do. I will make fun of the absolute horrid quality that boxes have been as of late. So before I ramble on any further, I'll see you soon.